Solid performance out of Knicks adult Slovenian son Luka Doncic. 23 points, 12 rebounds. Not his best shooting night. Went 3 of 12 from deep. So Luka just missing out on a medal. Nick, which three guys were podium worthy last night?
Well, the podium always proves to be bias-free. I leave my son out to include a man that allegedly I don't respect, Nikola Jokic. Look at Nikola Jokic. Could he become the worst back-to-back MVP ever? We will discuss later in the year. Jokic, 34, 11, and 5, and I know they lost. It's not his fault. Hey, Michael Porter Jr., try to score more than 10 points a game on like 30% shooting. Team kind of needs you now, buddy. Jokic gets the bronze. Silver medal, Paul George. Nobody cares about the Clippers this year because they're not very good because Kawhi's not there. Paul George is saying, I'm doing everything I can, America. Playoff P, pandemic P, I spit on those. Look at him, 32, 6, and 8, and a nice win over the spry Timberwolves. And then the gold medal. Again, bias-free here. Nick, you hate the Nets. Nick, you don't give Durant respect. If the season ended today, Kevin Durant would sit atop the pyramid. He's been the best player in basketball this year, and it has not been close. 32, 7, and 5 on he's shooting nearly 60% for the year. He's doing it effortlessly. Jenna, there is a bias-free medal stand, as they always are, from last night in the NBA.
Good job.
Really? It spurned that much confusion?
You know who's flying up my list? Flying up.
Yes, I do.
A lot of people were writing me letters. Wilds, who's flying up your list? Well, the answer is the Warriors. Clay looking great. So good, LeBron decided to do a little bit of tampering. Said he could watch Clay shoot all day. So that was not his captain's outfit. But here's the other thing that really has the Warriors flying up my list. It's from StatMuse. So I know we think Warriors offense, Clay. The Warriors have overtaken the Heat as the best defensive team this season. Their 97.8 defensive rating is the lowest since the 03-04 Pistons. They're 6-1, tied for the best record in the NBA. So, Broussard, I'll throw it to you for a quick second. Do you think that Clay's comeback will make them a better defensive team, or are you actually worried that he's lost a step defensively, although he still has the shot?
He won't be the same guy defensively just because, you know, his age and the Achilles that he's coming off of, but he'll be fine. He's a smart defender. And that's what Steph is. Steph isn't locking anybody down, but he's a smart defender. They got Andrew Wiggins, wink, wink, Nick, to be a defender. Andrew's a great defender.
Wiggins.
Draymond's a great defender. And I told you guys last week, and I will come back to this when relevant. Watch out for the Warriors. Now, I said that if the Lakers got it together, only Durant, Harden, and Kyrie could beat them. I'm throwing the Warriors out there. I'm throwing another big three. I saw Jordan Poole in the big three. Move him out of there. Draymond, Steph, and Clay will be a force to be reckoned with. I'm saying it right now.
More Milwaukee disrespect from Broussard, just ranking big threes ahead of the champions.
Well,
but I just must respond real quick to Wild's slingshot at LeBron. As we learned from the great Chris Haynes article that came out yesterday about LeBron meeting with Dame, LeBron is not recruiting guys. Just as the elder statesman of the league, he's there to give his advice, lend his counsel, and help guys out. He wasn't trying to get Dame on the Lakers, just like he's not trying to get Clay on the Lakers. He's just there to compliment guys and help guide their careers. We know this, Jenna. We know this. So let's just be fair. LeBron just appreciates a beautiful jump shot.
Here we go, the latest on Odell Beckham Jr. The Browns receiver was reportedly told yesterday not to come to practice. This after his father posted an 11-minute video on social media showing all the different times that Odell's been open and not targeted. Was not a great look for Baker in all of that. Head coach Kevin Stefanski went so far as reportedly telling his players that OBJ, quote, isn't on the team right now. In a word, it's messy. Hey, Broussard, if Cleveland cuts ties, Odell's next team should be blank.
All right, now look, I would not cut him, but if they do cut him, Nick, you're going to like this. The Kansas City Chiefs. Can you imagine OBJ in Kansas City? It would be just just what the doctor ordered, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Alongside Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, I'll even throw in McCole Hardman. My goodness, we've had our own Michael Vick tell us repeatedly how much the Chiefs miss Sammy Watkins. OBJ could obviously replace Sammy Watkins and then some, because I don't believe he's washed. There's just not a connection between him and Baker. But also, this is important. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill have the clout. They have the stature within the league where I believe OBJ would respect them. He wouldn't go in there thinking, I got to be number one. Wouldn't obviously be able to complain about Patrick Mahomes maybe not targeting him enough. And in fairness, you know, I don't know what how the connection between OBS and OBJ was. But in fairness, all the reports are that OBJ has not been a problem within the Browns facility, except for maybe that atom bomb that was dropped this week. Okay, so I like him in Kansas City. I think if he is released, if clears waivers, Browns got to pay him. The Chiefs, man, go get this done. Pronto.
So, look, I know you have a lot of place for your sports news, and you specifically come to us, the audience, because we give you a little bit extra. So I'm here with some tech news as well. There was an internet outage from New Haven all the way up to Portland, Maine. Everyone's like, what's going on, Wilds? So I dug into it. Turns out all the computing power in all of New England was busy making Photoshops of Odell Beckham and Mac Jones. It took a lot of computing power and ended up knocking down the system. So my answer is the Patriots. And now you're thinking, oh, Wilds, why would Odell want to go with Mac Jones? Oh, he just dinks and Dunkin' Donuts. Well, here's why. Can we show the statistic? Again, this took a lot of internet computing too, because we had to dispel some untruths out there in the world propagated from Nick Wright. Mac Jones has the exact same average depth of target as Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. So Odell, I know you're a loyal watcher of the show. We've already got the jerseys cooked up. We've got the Photoshops. You want to come to hang out with Bill Belichick, the greatest coach in the entire history of sports? You come out over to Foxborough, my friend.
Okay. This is embarrassing for the show. Because what we have here is two men with an agenda. Broussard is doing his best to salvage his Chiefs Super Bowl pick. Meanwhile, Wilds is just going to say, hey, every good player should go to my favorite team, the Patriots. I, on the other hand, as the conscience and, let's be honest, the statistical brain of the show, has gone through this soberly, and we're going to go through it. Okay. So if Odell gets to pick his team, just cross out all the bad teams. Just cross them out. Then cross out all the teams with bad quarterbacks. Cross them out. And then then we are going to cross out teams that wouldn't be interested in Odell because their wide receiver room is full. So that's like the Bills. You've got MC Anti-Vax, Emmanuel Sanders, Stephon Diggs. The Titans with Julio and AJ Brown. Cowboys, obviously. The Bucks, the Cardinals, the Rams, all those teams. I would argue the Chargers with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So cross those teams out. All right, so who's left? So you have Baltimore, which makes a lot of sense because of the need at wide receiver. But does Odell want to be? I'm sure he likes Lamar, but we all see some of the limitations. You have Cincinnati. The LSU connection there. But they actually have 3 really good wide receivers and 1 superstar wide receiver. You can cross them out. Vegas seemed like an option, but right now there's going to be a new coach there next year. Obviously, the tragedy involving the receiving corps right now, we're going to cross them out. Green